Hi, my name is Humaira Arfa from 2DLS1 Group 16. The title that our group had choose for our assignment is Biomass. So let me give you an introduction about biomass. You guys must be wondering, what is biomass? It is important for our world? And the answer is yes. So let me give you a very quick understanding about this topic. Biomass is basically all the organic materials made from plants, animal waste, and agricultural waste that can produce renewable energy. But don't forget that it sometimes can be non-renewable energy due to non-sustainable lineage. The material that I just mentioned just now had captured sunlight and absorbed the sun energy through a process called photosynthesis that convert carbon dioxide and water into nutrients system. Then we jump into the operation of biomass energy. First, biomass materials such as plant waste, wood scrap, sawdust, and crop residues are collected from farms or factories. Instead of throwing these materials away, they can actually be used to produce electricity. The biomass waste is burned to produce heat. This heat is then used to boil water and create high-pressure steam. The steam flows to a turbine and causes it to spin. As the turbine rotates, it drives a generator, and the generator converts the movement into electrical energy. In simple terms, biomass waste is turned into electricity through heat and steam. Another example of biomass comes from animal waste, especially from farm animals such as cows and horses. The animal waste is collected and stored inside a large tank called a digester. Inside the digester, bacteria break down the waste and produce methane gas. This process is known as an anaerobic digestion. The methane gas is then captured and burned to produce heat. Just like before, the heat is used to boil water and create steam, which spins a turbine connected to a generator to produce electricity. The process not only generates renewable energy, but also helps reduce waste and environmental pollution.
Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Umaira. So today I'm going to talk about a biomass material from plants, animals and waste that can turn into an energy. There are several types of biomass materials. First thing first, we have wood and wood waste, such as sawdust, firewood and wood chips. We also have an agricultural materials, such as corn, sugarcane and soybeans. The third one is an organic materials like paper, food waste and yacht waste. And fun fact, there's also an animal waste like manure and sewage that can turn into biogas. The constructions of biomass means the plant and the setup used to convert the biomass materials into an energy. Next, we have a storage area. This is where biomass materials like crop waste, food waste, and wood chips are stored and collected before being used. The material are usually kept dry because wet materials is harder to burn. And next is a feeding system. This part moves biomass into machines using conveyor belts or screw feeders. You can think of it like delivering food system, but instead of delivering food to people, it delivers fuel to the biomass plant. After that, the biomass enters the combustion chamber or reactor. This is an important part because biomass is burned and processed here to produce heat energy. Then the heat is transferred to a boiler to produce steam. The high-pressure steam spins the turbine and powers the generator to produce electricity. The system also has an exhaust and filtration system to reduce smoke and harmful gases, making it safer for environment. Finally, there is an ash collection system to collect remaining ash after combustion.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Fatima and I'm also from 2DL section 9. So now we're going to the next part where I will explain to you guys about the requirement for converting biomass to the new energy like electricity or power. I want you to think of this conversion like upcycling the natural's leftover, or in easy term I call it as natural's energy glow up. Instead we just left the biomass seed there, we give them a better life. But you might think, how? So give them a glow up. There's three ways or three paths to convert the biomass to the new energy. Think of these ways as different cooking styles. So the first style is the slow roast or gasification. Imagine putting wood chips into the giant oven but without any air. Instead of burning them into ash, the heat makes them sweat out the special gas called syngas. With the power of chemistry, the woods disappear into the invisible gas that can power up the whole city. Isn't it amazing? And then the second style, we will use biochemical, or I call it as the smoothie maker, because this is where the wet stuff like food scrap or cow dung is used and put in a big airtight tank full of the hungry bacteria. And then these bacteria will eat the waste and they will release, or to put it bluntly, they will fart out the energy called methane. And then after that, this energy or the methane is used to cook food or heat homes. It's kind of gross, but it is smart. And then the third one, or the last one, the densification, or I call it as the supercruncher. Because the biomass, sometimes they are way too bulky. We use massive machines to squish or to crush the leaves or sawdust into tiny, hard pellet. And then it's just basically like Minecraft in real life. We take those blocks and craft them into high energy fuel cells that are easy to carry and they burn super hard. To conclude, and now I'm going to talk about the impact of converting biomass to the society. There's 5 aspects that I would like to talk about. First, in aspect of health, let's look at the before and after. Back then, in many places, people burn woods and waste to stay warm. This situation will create a bad smoke that will hurt the lungs. But now, when we convert the biomass, we can scrub the smoke, and as a result, there's a cleaner air for everyone to breathe. And the second aspect is environment. Instead of the landfills are getting taller and taller with food scraps or with yard waste, by converting biomass to the new energy, we shrink them down, and this will lead to zero waste energy. And the next aspect is safety and legal. By converting biomass to pellets or biogas, it is much safer to keep them rather than the big and messy piles of dry wood that could catch fire in a heat wave. In the legal world, companies will get gold star for using biomass. This will make it more cheaper for them to do business because they are being climate heroes. And the last aspect I would like to talk about is SDG, Sustainable Development Goals. By upcycling the biomass, we can achieve SDG number 7, which is affordable and clean energy, where we are making sure everyone on Earth has light and power without crashing the planets. And then, unlike solar, which needs sun, or wind, which needs trees, biomass can produce energy 24/7. As long as we have waste, we have power. By converting biomass, we also can achieve SDG number 12, which is responsible consumption and production. No more take, make, and waste. Instead, we repeat the cycle. It becomes take, make, waste, and return. Take, make, waste. This loop will repeat continuously, and it is called circular economy. Instead of just letting the waste in the landfills, we let them sit and rot there, we put it back to work. And I think that's all from me and my group. Thank you for watching until the end, and bye.